Hi everybody, welcome back to our Buzz Goes Live channel, if you will. Today I'm with Dee over here from Buzz Towers and of course the CEO and Managing Director Hanneke.
Hi.
And today we are going to be talking about what are our best kids movies that we've ever watched, and of course maybe something like what we've learned from them. So who wants to start?
Favorite kids movies?
Yeah.
Dee.
Shotgun. I would say my favorite, and this is like going way back, like to, I think I was 6 when this movie was released. It is The Lion King.
Ooh.
Oh,
and it's such a
so
classic.
good, so
I
good.
think it's one of the first movies that I actually saw in the cinema.
Oh, really?
So it holds a special place, and I still watch it every few years to refresh my memory. It's absolutely
Not
amazing.
lying, not joking. I found my husband watching Lion King by himself the other day. I walked in, I was like, "Why are you watching Lion King?" I thought there was like a specific thing. And he's like, "Just watching Lion King." I was like, "Oh, yeah." So it is beautiful.
It's totally relatable to kids, to adults. I mean, you can still watch it and learn a new life lesson.
Yeah,
I still cry when I watch it though.
Yeah,
the music is incredible in The Lion King. Absolutely.
Elton John, I think.
It's Elton John, most of it, but some of it, like he reworked some traditional choirs and like, you know, so the Wumba where things comes from other places. I'm not sure. We really need to scrub up on that and find out. But speaking about first movie ever seen, I was just thinking about the very first movie that I ever went to the movie theatre to see, which was Fantasia. You remember Fantasia? Those Disney like classic, like taking classical music, and then you've got like unicorns dancing and hippos in tutus, and it's all like classical music, and Mickey Mouse like conducts it all. So I remember
what was
actually.
the cinema like in those days? I know it's
Claire and story, yeah.
This must have been the late 80s, because I was born in 1982. And I do also remember for some reason that the cinema was in Adderley Street in Cape Town. So that was like before we would go to the malls. I think it was before, like, because I grew up in Cape Town. So I remember it was in Adderley Street where there was a specific cinema. My dad took all of the friends and cousins or whatever along. This big open cinema, like daytime thing, maybe a school holiday. And we used to have this thing, and this is a true story, where you know how you would identify, you'd see anything on screen, whether it's Gummy Bears or DuckTales or whatever, and you would say like, I'm her, I'm him, you know, you'd identify. Did you guys also do that? Like, you would, like, if you'd claim it, then your sister can't be that thing. So here we are in Fantasia, and this beautiful unicorn thing came onto the screen. This is the truth, this is the absolute truth. And my twin sister was sitting way over there, it's like a whole line of children. This beautiful thing comes up, I mean, we were all transfixed, this beautiful character, it was like a unicorn or something, and she just went, she just screamed, I am her. Like out of this anxiety that anyone else. So that's my first like memory
but favorite?
No. Like I used to be obsessed with The Little Mermaid from like when life began in my life. Alsha and I, my twin again, and I would know every single line of Little Mermaid, from Mermaid on the porch bed, Ariel, how you doing? Like the whole thing. We would be able to watch it because my dad got an illegal copy when we were little, and like we'd watch it and we would say all the lines, and especially the song "Look at this trove, treasures untold, how many wonders." That song, obsessed. But then I learned as we got older that Little Mermaid is not as powerful a figure as what we've seen lately in terms of female characters. So I really have to say that Little Mermaid, I feel bad to say, is not as good as Frozen. Frozen, I think, is the greatest children's story especially from a female feminist perspective that's been put out there. Like, it's a story about sisters. It's for the first time not a princess being saved or about a boy, or the end of it being happily ever after being related to two human beings, and like a prince and a princess. These are two women, these are two girls. It's about sister love, it's about feminism, it's about a girl walking away and saying like, what's the line from the song Let It Go where she says, the good girl's gone? Like she's giving up everyone else's idea of her, and you know, like breaking out of that mold. That song alone, I mean, it's an anthem of feminism.
I wonder if it was a female writer actually.
Yeah, that's
Come to think
interesting.
of this
That's
the whole
very
script.
interesting.
Yeah, I think it might be.
We should research that.
We really have to research. I'm totally taken over as usual. Claire, what's your favorite?
Oh my word, I have so many wonderful movie memories when I was a kid. I don't remember the first movie I watched at the cinema though. I really don't. I do remember watching
Your
Harry
mum will
Potter.
know.
My mum will know. My mum will know. But one of my all-time favorites, even when I was little, was Toy Story. And
So good.
there's so many just great
The first one, I'm
moments in it.
assuming.
I love
Because
all
I
of
think
them,
there
but
were
the first
two
one,
original
Yeah.
ones.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
even the music. You've got a friend in me. It kills me every time. But you know, sometimes it's okay to be a kid even when you're an adult, and I just love that. I just love it. It's awesome. Yeah.
No, and it was the first Pixar. It was the first big Pixar hit, and then the
Yes.
Pixar movies followed the Toy Story. And I really think, I mean, we need to look at that book as well. There's a book about Pixar and creativity we need to look at. But if I remember correctly, that's where that animation stream also started.
Yes.
And the Pixar sort of revolution against Disney. But yeah, you're right. Who did the music for Toy Story? Do we
I'm
know?
trying to think who the...
Now you're asking.
It was brilliant.
I remember watching the third one. Obviously, I was a little bit older when I watched it. I mean, a lot older. But I still cried. And I remember, what was his name? Oh, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. And he gave his toys away to the other little kid.
Oh, the boy,
And yes, and it was just like this way of saying, okay, I'm an adult, I'm going off to college now. I'm still going to play with them for the last time with you, his toys. But now I'm going to give it to you.
What was the
because
boy's name?
I can't remember. It's like
Where they
lost
fight
me.
over him the whole time
Yes.
when Buzz and Woody fights over
I
him.
can't remember. Troy, not Troy.
Oh.
Andy!
Andy! Our video today has been full of things we don't know.
Guys, how do you think that animations still have meaning to us as adults?
It's crazy if you think about it.
It absolutely does. It triggers a whole different part of the brain, I think, watching animation. The fascination with what is achievable today. Like, it's just unbelievable. I think also the way that it's able to conjure up anything, whereas, you know, you're limited to, okay, it's great, what is it called, SGI? All the things that people can do now with live action and all sorts of other things. But animation in its purest form really, I believe, from my point of view, allows the absolute child in me, even if it's a sophisticated animation, to come alive, because it purely, like, can go anywhere.
Yeah.
There's no limits. It's the imagination space, the creative space in its purest form, really. And I love it. I love it. We still go. My husband and I went to go see Moana together, literally, and I'm not joking. That's the kind of movies that I find him watching again. So I love animation, and I find people who don't want to go see animation in the cinema, I'm like,
And also the kids can learn a lot from them. You know, if there's great messages in them, it's really great. I love it.
I think there's so many bad TV out there that it's so great for parents to really trust on the modern animations, all the old animations, to really teach their kids life lessons. I think that's also what makes a good animation.
And that it's also moving with what we are collectively as humans, like we're evolving, and like feminist issues are starting to be represented, you know, gender equality, racial equality, all these things are starting to be represented in animation, and it's wonderful for children to get those messages. We know that in music, there's not necessarily, children are not necessarily that safe, because a Miley Cyrus goes from being Hannah Montana to like on a wrecking ball, and you can't control that. But and the same with YouTube and whatever's available. But I just love that some of the messages, some of the the messaging in there is now so much more current and good and right. And I think that's my big thing about Moana and Frozen, is that for the first time you really start to see it's not this princess that's being saved by a boy. The story is not necessarily about love. It's not a love affair thing anymore, where fairy tales used to really be there. This is about, like, Frozen is about two sisters and the one becoming weird and they're losing their tight bond, like I've had that in my own life, and then like she doesn't say why. This one runs away, and she goes, "I don't need to be like what you want me to be." And then she stands into her power and lets all these like wonderful, beautiful powers come out. You think the story is going to be about the younger sister Anna falling in love with that dude?
The typical predictable.
Then you learn that boys are not necessarily like people don't want to necessarily. I'm not trying to bash boys. And then the next moment, it's the power of love that brings it all together.
Yes.
And it's love between Elsa and
friendship
Anna.
too. Friendship too. Don't forget about Olaf.
Yeah, it's about
Friendship.
friendship.
Yes,
It's
we
about
can't forget
being.
that.
I think a lot of the animations, and I think especially the three that we are speaking about, centers a lot around friendships.
Yes.
And also friendships with different characters. I'm thinking of Timon and Pumbaa.
Yes.
And I mean, they're so
The
different.
infamous two.
But they really, they
Yeah.
really fill each other on so beautifully,
Yeah.
complement each other, and their friendship with Simba, and their whole journey as they move along. And the same with the toys. I mean, you have all these weird and wonderful
Yes.
toys in Toy Story.
And I was a big fan of my toys when I was young. Even when I got a bit older, I was always sad that I always wondered, is this the last time I'm going to play with my dolls? I always used to think about that. And then I don't remember when the last time I
kind of just merge along.
But you know what? You know what's also great is the memories that you can remember from watching these movies. That you like with Toy Story 3, I sat with my best friend on her couch and we had a big roll of toilet paper next to us. We knew we were going to cry. We both loved the movie. And we sobbed our little hearts out. And we were probably in high school. But it was such a special thing, you know.
It's just got such a pure and good, not necessarily all of them, but I mean, I think the ultimate, these big children's movies, it's just got the recipe for goodness and pure things, and the music just helps you, the funny squishinesses of the characters, the animation, it all just is the right recipe for feel good. And the world today is so stressful. I mean, 2 hurricanes in a week or a month in America the other day. There was stuff that's happening in our world, politics and climate change. And
you need a break.
We as adults need a break, and even I think that even like starts to become the reality for little kids. Like they pick up on all of this. So escapism.
Yes.
I'm definitely an escapist to be able and to allow my mind to do that. It's hard for me these days, but if there's one type of film that does do it, it's often great animation.
I think the really great animations are those ones that speak to the kids and the adults.
Yes.
I've always noticed in the animations there's a few jokes, you
Yeah,
know, that only the parents will get, and that's so lovely.
I love
that the
too.
animators also, you know, thought about that, speaking to the parents and having a little giggle on the side because the kids don't realize yet what's going on.
And then again, makes it something the parents and children can then do together, because you know, my cousin who has 3 little girls, like they've said to us, like, you know, you have to find a way to watch Paw Patrol all day long. You have to start investing in these characters. You know what I mean? You have to like not want to wish it away when this is a lot of the time that you spend with your children is watching and sharing this together. So making it accessible so that it's not just for little ones is awesome. Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely.
I think it's so wonderful for parents to maybe after a movie have a chat, you know, and get the kids' feedback on that, and maybe share some life lessons and you know, feeling and seeing what they got out of the movie. I think that's so wonderful.
And we've just definitely also seen with the work that we do, which movies out there are big hits, because it just literally, because of the parties that we do, we know, okay, people are loving this theme or that theme. So from my point of view, Frozen is literally doing the one thing that we hear children like all again and again and again. Your films are slightly older, and what do you think the ones are going to be that continues to stand the test of time, more modern ones now?
I actually think the old classics. I think it's not about the gimmicks and the big flash animations. It's the characters, it's the story, it's the life lessons.
Exactly.
And if you look at Lion King, I mean, it's a 1994 film.
Yes.
It's not the best animation. I mean, it was way back in the day. But you look through that, and you just move on, and you look at the story, and it's timeless.
You're right. It is. I agree with you. The story always trumps. Because I'm going to be honest, I love Moana and I love the music. So they've got great animation, great characters, great music. The story is a bit complicated. I was 34 years old watching it going, oh no, what's she's going to find the thing and then the thing and there's a chicken that's just funny, and it's great, but it's not a simple, straight story. You're right. With Lion King, it's a very simple story, and they follow through, and it's strong. Frozen's the same, Toy Story is the same. I think even further back, did you guys ever watch The Sword and the Stone?
Is that when the guy had to pull the sword out of
Yes.
Yes.
The story of King Arthur.
Yes.
Now that is like from the 80s.
Oh.
And homework, kids. Go watch The Sword in the Stone. Like the flattest, oldest type of animation on the planet. The greatest story. You will get lost in it. In fact, I'm going to watch it tonight to deal with my life. So it's these fascinating stories, and Merlin teaches them lessons about gravity, the force of gravity, about opposites, and he changes them into animals to teach them, like the force of gravity changes them into a squirrel, so they've got to learn to fall, and then he changes them, like he magically changes these children into fish, and it is beautiful and fascinating.
Might like that if they haven't seen it before. Yeah.
And it's like from the 80s.
Yeah.
That is a sign that we need to stop.
What a wonderful chat, and like I'm inspired to go and watch more animation.
I know, immediately. This is nice.
Please feel free to comment down below. Let us know what your favorite movies are, maybe what your kiddie's favorite movie is. We'd love to chat with you.
Love ya!
See you later. Bye.